Right, so this is our Earth Listening Circle. And for people that might not know who I am, and I don't know why that thing is saying low system resources. So, um, Mariquita Solis, vegan empowerment coach, harmonic earth healer, certified climate healer, and many other things too. I'm a human being with feelings, and that's why I'm here. Mainly, that's why this circle has been created because of our beautiful Mother Earth, and honoring her in this time that is critical. Um, so I shouldn't have stopped the share. Let me share the thing we're here for, which is to listen deeply, to tune into Mother Earth's wisdom and messages, and to share stories, connect with others who share a love for nature. And I think that's all of us. Sometimes we've lost our connection with Mother Earth. To cultivate mindfulness, practice mindfulness and meditation to foster a deeper connection to the present moment, and to inspire action, exploring ways to live more sustainably and harmoniously with Mother Earth. And tonight is an invitation to slow down, breathe, and reconnect. Um, and so, as always, we want to be respectful, empathetic, and compassionate. This is my first Earth circle. So thank you for being my guinea pigs. um, all right. Let me navigate my screens here a little bit. Hold on a second, y'all. Sorry. All right. So let's see. Well, let's get started here. And I just would like to invite you to tell us um, where you're joining from and to share with us an earth being that you love. Now, an earth being can be whatever. I mean, it can be whoever. It's just it's just expansive. So I'll start. I'm joining from Atlanta area, and an earth being that I really love is the opossum because they're so misrepresented. And so I'm carrying the opossum here with me, the opossum spirit of curiosity and quietness and calm with me in my heart right now. So I'd love to hear an earth being that you all are is holding in your heart and where you're joining from. How about BJ?
Hello, I'm also known as Rebecca and BJ. So, hi, Mariquita. Thank you. I'm joining from a small town near Austin, Texas. It's called Lockhart. And I think the being that I would pick for now would be one of my cats. Um, Although Terry is sitting next to me, I think I will pick Buddy because this afternoon when I was off in my room taking a nap, he was crying. And when I checked on him, he's just carrying a toilet paper roll around with him. And and he does that when he picks up a little something that which I leave out for him to play with. Um, and I have other little toys, but he will cry like he's hurting, and I will go and he will just be holding something in his mouth. And I don't know if he's lonesome, when I was in the other room, if he wants to play. I don't know what's in his heart and mind, so I'm just going to hold him dear to me, dear, and share him, a little bit of him with you. He's about 5 years old and black and white.
That's sweet. Well, we're honored that he's here with us too.
Thank you.
All right. How about Barack? Can you hear? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Me? Who?
No. Right. Give us 1 second, Shanacy.
Okay.
Shansi can go ahead. It's
Okay, go ahead,
Yeah.
Shanacy.
I'm still finishing my dinner, so go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead, Bharat.
Can you just repeat the question again for me?
Well, just well, tell us where you're joining from and one being that you're holding space with here. An earth being that you love.
So I'm joining from Bangalore, India, and one being would also be my cat, I guess. So so she's a calico. Um, so yeah.
Well, thank you. All right. And Shanacy, if you want to share, that's good. And if you want to continue eating, that's good too.
I'll go up here for a second, sorry. I'm Shanacy, and I'm from Northern Illinois. I live in a small animal farming community. Uh, and I live with 4 cats, 4 rescued cats, 1 rescued dog, and I love my squirrels and birds that I take care of. And my heart really goes out right now to all the farm and outside animals because it's frigidly cold here. Last night was like 20 below wind chill. And I just get obsessed with laying awake at night thinking, just feeling horrible for them to have to endure this. I just hate it. It's hard.
Well, we'll
So,
hold them in our circle with us. Thank you.
sure.
All right, so I would like to do a little connecting here. So I'm going to invite you all to follow my lead, and so I'll say first like a sentence, and then afterwards I'll repeat it again, and we'll all join in, please. So if you want to go ahead and unmute, um, so we'll just take a deep breath and just put your hand on your heart and say, "May I be filled with love and peace. May I be filled with love and peace." Yeah, y'all can join in on the second round. All right, let me do it again. May I be joined with love and peace.
May I be joined
May
with
I
love
be
and
joined with
peace.
love and peace.
May you be filled with love and peace.
May
May
you be filled with love and
Love
peace.
and peace.
and put your hands towards the sky. May all living beings be happy, peaceful, and free from suffering. May
May all
all
living beings
be happy,
be happy
peaceful, and free from suffering.
and free from suffering.
And bring your hands to your heart. Thank you, Earth. Thank you, universe. Thank you, all living beings.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Earth,
Earth. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
universe.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
all.
all living beings.
All right. Thank you. All right. So tonight we just want to listen to the Earth's wisdom and honoring her messages. We want to connect with others in this circle who love Mother Earth and her living beings, and share stories of times that have made an impact on our life when we connected with Mother Earth. And this is a time to slow down and breathe, like I had said before. So if I'd invite you to close your eyes, and I'm just going to do a small meditation. So just take some deep breaths. It's really a little poem. Just breathing in the air, the sacredness of this moment, the feel of the wind gently passing through the universe, the beautiful rains encompassing our verdant lands, the gentleness of Mother Earth. Mother Earth teaches and whispers and roars in the softness of moss and the jaggedness of stone. She reminds us there's a season for all things, a time to sow, a time to rest. Come closer to my rhythm, she says. Find your balance and you will thrive. Be still and listen. Press your hands into the soil. Breathe the wild air. Walk barefoot on the grass. She speaks not in language, but in life, the symphony of interwoven roots, the song of the wolf howling to the moon, the quiet exhale of a forest at dusk. In her silence, she holds you. In her voice, she calls you home. You are not apart from me, she says, but a part of me. Care for me as I care for you. Be close to me, and together we will heal. And when you feel like it, you're welcome to open your eyes. So tonight we really want to talk about the shift from this human supremacy that's going on in our planet. I mean, this is a place for feeling, you know, and moving toward sacred reciprocity, where we acknowledge Mother Earth as part of our being. She's not separate from us. So I'd love to share with you this quote. To it here. Here it is. Thanks. Is it yes? Okay. To feel grief, to feel pain, to feel the cry of earth. That is an honest, real response. And if the earth is to be remembered and thought of as a sacred living being and related to as a sacred living being, then it asks of us to respond from a real place inside of ourselves. And that quote really touches my heart. It makes me want to cry, knowing how beautiful she is and how so many people don't value her. They don't see her as a living being. So I would like to just right now talk, just open this up to a discussion. When was the time that you all felt a deep connection to nature? When did you feel like that you were one with Mother Nature, that there was no separation? Or maybe you'd like to say something about that quote that I just read.
Well, I'm Rebecca, and I will start off with I don't know when I have felt one with Mother Nature. That's a relatively new concept for me in recent years. I have felt love for nature. I have loved being in nature. Um, and I have, in the past 15 years, become more aware of other beings and their suffering and our part in that. But one of the images that comes to mind was when I was on a campus and the cherry blossoms were in full bloom. It was the first time I had seen so many, and I just, went over there and put my head in the branches so that I was, all surrounded with them. So I wanted to really remember that moment, and I have, but I wanted to be a part of it. So there were all these beautiful flowers. My head was right in it. And then there were some bees, and I was, oh, there's that too. So, but every time I go out on the back porch, every time I step outside, I think there's a part of me that opens up that goes, oh yeah, there's a bigger space. And the more I can be aware of that, the better. I mean, I've not always been aware of that, but uh, I am. And then, of course, when I come across animals, there's some deer sometimes, or a possum yesterday morning, and a raccoon a week ago. So when I come across those, I feel I feel love and grateful to see them. But I don't know about the oneness part. I think that's a concept that I want to feel, but certainly appreciate. I'll pass.
Thank you. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, sometimes it's very hard for me to feel connected when I'm in this hustle bustle, and I'm on the computer all day. And I completely have lost my connection to Mother Earth for hours. And I go outside, and even I was listening to the rain the other night, and I thought, what am I doing inside? Mother Earth, it's so beautiful outside. What am I doing on this TV when this essence of life is the rain is falling and the air is crisp and refreshing and it's who we are, but I mean, oftentimes I forget it also. So would someone else like to share?
I I don't really spend much time in nature anymore. And for me, I feel pretty well disconnected, but yet a lot of my life's work is protecting the environment, trying to save the farm animals, and trying to get people to eat more plant-based, ideally become vegan. But it's like, my fight is here, all done on social media and on the computer. So it's like I feel pretty out of touch. Um, and nowadays it's like, I'm too afraid to go out and walk in the woods by myself. It's kind of dangerous. So I feel pretty disconnected.
Someone said that to me last night in person at the dinner. They were afraid. Times have really changed, yes. And sometimes I think you don't have to go to the woods, of course. I mean, just to be with a plant, in that quietness, you know, just to be with a blade of grass, or to feel the air, just to feel the air and acknowledge. I mean, for me, I get so, well, I don't even acknowledge her. I'll go outside, run to the car, and I've completely forgotten about her, the fresh air and the birds and the green grass and the soil and the leaves and everything. I mean, that hurriedness. And I asked actually the table I was with last night, I said, what keeps you all from being connected to Mother Earth? And they said, the chaos of life.
Definitely chaotic.
Yeah, things seem a little unstable now. I mean, I can say that. I mean, for myself, I'm saying it for myself. I mean, and so I'm sure that probably y'all can resonate with that. But Barat, did you have something you wanted to share?
Yeah, staying in the city when I feel very disconnected with nature. So whenever I take a hike or go to the countryside, I do try to ground myself, align, and connect to Mother Earth. But yeah, it is chaotic living in the city, and and we are all disconnected, is what I feel.
Yeah. Well, what emotions come up when y'all think about the environment?
Scares me to death. I mean, what's happening? To me, I feel overwhelmed with fear and worry about it. I'm thinking I'm kind of glad I'm, older, because I feel so sorry for the people and they're 20s, 30s, teens, and younger, what they're going to grow up in. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I just so much fear and worry. And I have to leave for about just 1 to 2 minutes, so excuse me.
I resonate with what she's saying that I felt it these last couple of days because I turned on the news. Why did I do that? I was looking particularly to see if I could hear anything about the fires in California. And I remember now why I did that, because the woman who started In Defense of Animals, Marilyn, can't think of her last name right now. She's an older woman, older than me. And I met her about a few years ago. And she posted that she's safe in Northern California. And it just makes me sad that she has to say she's safe. I mean, I am glad that she did. But the fact that there are people near the fires that need to let people know that they're safe, and elderly, I wouldn't be surprised if she's in her 80s. And so then I feel sadness, and I feel sadness that about the animals that can't get out, and not only the people. So I looked at some of the images of the fires that were still going on. I mean, was that yesterday or today? I looked at it, and they're not over. And then last night, I also got a call from a friend in Florida, and she told me that they're going to sell their house and try to move. Their house wasn't flooded, but 3 houses down and blocks around them were. And I felt a sadness for her, because I have known for years and tried to broach the subject about, don't live in Florida along the coast. Well, you can't tell people where to live and not live, but those were in my mind. And then where does she move? She said she had thought about moving to Asheville, North Carolina. Well, Asheville got flooded by that same hurricane. And so I feel like I'm stepping into an area where I'm going to be in touch with more and more people and animals who are suffering the consequences of our mistreatment of animals and Mother Earth. And I want to maintain a balance of recognition of what's happening, of feeling for them, but not losing myself in that. So I want to stay where I can be of benefit. Oh, I'm sorry, Michael left us. But I don't know how I got to that, but I think you're asking about how we feel. And so that's some about how I feel. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. And you and Shanacy, yes. I mean, I feel sickeningly sad when I think about our animals, and when I see the way people trash the planet. I mean, that they just throw, when I walk through the parks and I just see trash everywhere. And then I have to think to myself, Mother Earth is alive. She is alive, right? And we're not seeing her as a living being, and that makes me sick. But I have to remind myself she's alive, because I'm just walking away, ha ha ha, not really thinking, that this is a living being. This is our mother. And then when I, snap to it, I just feel horrible for her that we're all walking around in this, not all of us, but, all the time, but walking around without, and just in autopilot, you know? And I guess as children, I was never taught that, to really honor her the way that I would love to teach others to honor her. I mean, I think I was taught to take. I mean, not in a conscious way, but subconsciously, she's for us to have, like the animals. We are to take from them. They're here for us. And it hurts all of us. That's what, makes me very sad that they're, I don't know what the I see my I see little children that I know, tiny ones, and I think what's going to be left for them? And then if and their parents are just oblivious to it, just living in the materialistic world and not even knowing what's happening to her. It's very I mean, it's like I don't know I can't come up with a word right now, but it's like, oh my gosh, nobody's listening. Nobody's listening. Nobody's listening. That feeling of anxiety and the feeling of beyond frustration. It's just desperation, I guess, despair. And then I have to just go out and be with a tree sometimes, and just that's when I feel connected. Is when I'll have a moment with the tree. I'll say thank you for being here, and I'm sorry, I'm sorry for what's happening to you. But yeah, I really resonate with what y'all are saying.
For me, I think activism is the only thing that kind of heals me, that makes me feel like at least I'm doing something. It gets my mind off the horrible stuff going on, and I just, keep trying to charge on and keep doing it. And that's,
Yeah,
and then that's when I get frustrated when we see other people just constantly complaining about it, but yet they're not doing anything. They're, I have a hard time understanding that.
Yeah. My sister told me in her belief system, there's evil and there's good, and it's going to get worse and worse, like big waves crashing together, but good is going to win. And I'm thinking, okay, okay, okay. I got
They should have won by now.
yeah, a lot of suffering in between time, right? But yeah, if it's gonna win and that keeps her going, Uh, so yeah, it's really, I think, hard to keep all that, to keep positive, and that sounds trite now that I say it like that. But it does feel good. It feels good, like to help it and to rescue an animal feels good. To volunteer someplace feels good. To serve free food feels good. So doing those kinds of things feels really good. And so I'm hoping that I could, I have cousins that are very well off, quite a few of them, and they're not interested at all in what I'm doing. I mean, they will be polite and listen for a few minutes, but only one of them has said, "Okay, sit down and tell me what you're thinking." The rest of them, they want to play. What do they call that? It's not racquetball, but it's a pickleball, and they go from tournament to tournament playing pickleball. That's their life, and spending money, going on vacations, and going on cruises, um, and one person, my sister, is very concerned about life on Earth and is involved with the climate healers, but her method is different. It's not so much in serving, it matches some other people's that I know, which is just loving people. So she has a beautiful essence about her, about love. And occasionally she'll do something. Here I am talking about somebody else. I don't want to be talking about my sister. I love my sister. What I'm saying is, it is hard, let me just put this back to me. It is hard for me sometimes to understand different people's methods of dealing with living here on earth and seeing the crises that are going on. I learn from them though. So, like, I learned from my sister. I learn I don't want to go play pickleball regularly. I might like to play one time to get the energy out and to laugh. And I think I need more of that in my life. I think I need, maybe once a week go play, because I feel like many people that I'm here on social media, I've always got that to do. I've always got something to do because the crisis is nigh. The crisis is already happening. That's not, it may be nearer and nearer to me, but it's already happening to people around the world. And so I like that part about sharing and spreading joy. I just am not always there doing it. Okay, I think I've rambled enough.
I'm glad you said that. I think it's so important to play, and it's very, I forget to play too. We should be doing laughter yoga.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forget to play. I'm thinking this has to be done, this has to be done, this has to be done, and what's going to happen, and but yeah, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to have joy in our life too, and thank God we have people that understand. If I'm going out with just the typical people, I feel like I'm sticking out like a sore thumb. Because I don't want to talk about the little, just the, what's it called? Just the small talk is what, I'm not interested in the small talk. I want to hear about your heart and your soul and, but still laughing, but also with someone that cares about more than buying 1,000 Christmas gifts, you know?
Yes.
But I
Yeah.
think one thing I think is that as people become more and more aware, and I've seen my own friends becoming more and more aware, I think they're going to fall back on us. They're going to remember, hey, there are some people that are already awake that might could help us. There are people that are already been taking action, and they probably can help us in knowing, when people become afraid, we're going to be the ones that they turn to. That's what I think.
Good point. What do you think, Barat?
I just missed it. I was just went
Okay.
out for a few minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
We
Well,
are just saying, yeah, saying how I think people will turn to us, as the climate gets worse, as things, oh, who knows? Maybe there'll be another pandemic, who knows? But, I think that,
I'm already noticing that there's a lot expected from me. I have a woman who has a group called Where We Thrive, and she tries to help people in need. And I said I would help if it's all vegan food. If I can help, I will do this and that and help deliver food. And now I'm doing a cooking class. And although she hasn't turned her organization vegan, she has said we're not going to serve any meat. And she's wanting to learn about the dairy. But the fact is, she is requesting me to do more than I can do. Can you come over? We'll do this thing. We'll come over and we'll do this project. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what I've wanted. I've wanted to be valuable in the community. And all of a sudden now I'm feeling like, whoa, I can commit, this many days, not that many days. And so um, I've got to kind of figure out where I am with that, because that's what we want. I want somebody, I want the community to want to know. Somebody asked me to give a talk and I couldn't do it at the church on what veganism is. And I thought, at a church I don't go to. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is great. But then I had a funeral service to go to. And the library wants a thing. So I think there's going to be a lot of, like you say, a lot of opportunities for us to help. And the more grounded we are, it's going to, of course, be better, and also the more joyful. I know of people who are, well, I can think of two, Will Tuttle and Dr. Silas Rao or two that seem to be grounded in themselves so that they can still talk about serious things and yet give you a smile, you know. You can feel the love from them. Even if you disagree with them, they can let that kind of go, or maybe sometimes they don't. But anyway, um, so that's what I wish for myself and others, to be happy inside, but acknowledge the grief. Oh, maybe it's as an observer. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Looking at observing myself feeling the grief, but also knowing that is not me. The me is the inner self that's connected to everybody, and I don't know. I'm not used to verbalizing this, but I think it's good for me to be here talking about it, so I can remember who I am during these hard times. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be panic screaming and running out the door. I want to be able to, to take the pets, to be someone's shoulder if they need me to. It's very interesting times we're going through. Thanks for letting me share.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's acknowledging, that we are scared, like y'all have said. I mean, this is a scary time. I think being vulnerable is the key, I mean, not pretending that it's not happening, because that's what everyone else is doing. Pretending that it's not happening, so they're not scared, right? So, I mean, and loving that part of ourselves that's afraid, and I think when you're talking about Dr. Rao and Dr. Tuttle, Dr. Will, is acceptance and the journey, knowing this is a journey, just keep moving forward on the journey, you know, that we're doing our part, and part of life is smiling and still having fun, and being mindful of that, mindfulness in, I need to make sure that I'm putting some time for play, putting some time for laughter, putting some time to be with my friends, some time to scream if I need to scream, and allowing it. But yeah, I mean, knowing that we don't control anything. I mean, we're just responsible for ourselves, and we're doing a great job. So, and I think for me, it helps to be with that tree, just be quietly with that tree and tell her I love her, and tell her thank you, and tell all those trees thank you that I'm standing around. I know that there's a Netflix documentary coming out I saw about, I think it's about plant-based, a guy that did plant-based. I see that's coming out, I think in January. So I think we should be all prepared to be answering questions, you know? So, was there any times when you were little children that you felt connected to nature that stand out? Muted. I think you're muted, Shanacy. You're muted.
Sorry, I was just saying that when I was in Girl Scouts, that was probably the biggest time I ever connected with nature, because we would do a lot of camping and um, just a lot of stuff out in nature. Back then, it was much safer to be out, in nature. But now it's not. And then, like back in the, I think it was the 70s, no, the 80s, I lived in California, and they had this once a year holistic retreat out in the woods. And so we would play all these games, like, for example, everybody'd get in two straight lines, and they would do weird things with their arms like they were trees, and you hold still. And then the end person would go through and try and climb through these trees. It's really fun, but it's just kind of a neat way to connect with nature because we were doing it outside and so much fun. Really a lot of fun.
Sounds like fun. Go ahead, BJ. Did you want to say something? I call you Rebecca, BJ.
The one, it's fine. No, I don't remember when I mean, I remember connecting with animals with the sheep that I was crawling on the ground to get close to a sheep so, I could pet it. Um, no, I don't. We didn't, I didn't go camping until I was in my 20s. We stepped outside. We had some chickens. We had some animals, so I connected with animals, but I don't remember. Even though we planted plants in the yard, I don't remember feeling particularly connected or anything, or any words around those. Yeah, I'm a slow
Well, I
learner.
feel plant guilt from not being nice to my plants in the past. I'm sorry, plants. You know,
Uh,
but yeah. I can imagine you on the ground with the sheep, or did you say sheep?
yeah,
That would
heckle
be
and
fun.
jeckle. Yeah, yeah.
We used to climb this big magnolia tree, me and my brother, all the time, and we even carved our names in it. Actually, we carved, which now I feel bad. I'm sorry, magnolia tree. Um, that we put in Courageous Cougars Club, and I don't think my brother even remembers that. But we carved it into the tree. That was all we did. We carved that. That was nothing, no more than that. Well, that was enough. But we would climb up to the top and look out, and I loved that tree. And that tree was so patient with us and gave us so much joy and laughter as little children. You know, just
Yeah.
a blessing. Yeah, and we used to play in the little stream, and we played a lot outside. And I was always jealous because my brother was a boy and he got to get dirty, and I had to be a girl and wear dumb dresses. But anyway, that's another story. So,
I need to be going.
all right. Well, thanks for sharing,
Yeah,
and thanks for, yeah, especially the laughter part. And I'm going to for that, you know.
yeah. And I appreciate hearing from you, Shanacy. And is it Varat? Yeah, from the vegan community. Okay, nice to
Thanks,
meet you.
Rebecca.
Yeah. Okay, I'll
Yeah, it's
talk to
nice to
y'all.
meet you.
Thank you so much. Hope to see y'all again. Bye bye.
Hey, bye.
Welcome.
Sorry I'm late, Mariquita. I just got off work. JJ.
Hey, hey. I thought I was very confused there for a second. Well, wonderful to have you. We're sharing little stories about our connection with nature, or maybe our lack of connection with nature. Like sometimes I'm walking around in a zone, not even connected at all. So, anyway, let's talk a little bit about homo ahimsa and sacred reciprocity. Let me try to get over here to my slides again. I just wanted to read a couple of things. Um, okay. All right. So this is we already read this quote. I guess we being me. Homo ahimsa is a term that was coined by Judy Carmen. And Homo sapiens means wise man. And I know being I just remember Dr. Rao saying, I mean, how can we say that we're wise? We're the ones that are hurting our planet? So Homo ahimsa is a new way of life. And I'm going to read this quote from her book, which I recommend. If y'all haven't read it, Homo ahimsa can be our new way of living if we choose it. We have claimed both within our religions and our ethical traditions that our ideals include mercy, compassion, love for one another, the golden rule, nonviolence, world peace and freedom, healing and abundance for all. We have idealized these qualities because that is how we want to be. But the deserts, fires, pollution, and animal suffering and death that Homo sapiens have caused show us how far we have fallen from these ideals. Homo ahimsa embodies these qualities not as unreachable ideals, but as a way of living every day. And Homo ahimsa is peace for all, love for all, compassion for all. And how beautiful that is. Um, when we really embody Homo ahimsa and allow Homo sapien, the wise human, to become like Homo ahimsa. How beautiful that can be. And I'm going to move on to the next slide and then we can talk a little bit more, but that's not it. Oh, yes, it is. So this is, I was talking about sacred reciprocity. And this is what this quote is talking about. Knowing that you love the earth changes you, activates you to defend and protect and celebrate. But when you feel that the earth loves you in return, that feeling transforms the relationship from a one-way street into a sacred bond. Robin Wall Kimmerer. And so I think that's very beautiful. Because a lot of times I forget that she loves me also. How could I forget that though? And the fact that the rain comes and I don't have to ask her. She is a mother to us, and that we don't have to ask her to provide us with nourishment. We don't ask her to provide us with warmth. We don't have to ask for all that. She's always taking care of us. And how beautiful it is to be able to acknowledge that. Um, and to be living in homo ahimsa and sacred reciprocity. Um, what does that look like? I mean, what would be different if we were living in sacred reciprocity? What would what would be happening?
Sorry, I said no answer for that from me.
No? Okay. What about you, Barack?
Even I don't have any answer for this.
Well, I think for me, if
Mhm.
what it would look like if we lived in sacred reciprocity, or should I ask JJ if you can talk? I'm only thinking you might be eating dinner.
Oh, it's okay. Go ahead. I was looking for my charger for the phone. Can you just repeat the question again?
Yeah, I mean,
Sound was cutting out.
what would it look like if we're living in sacred reciprocity, meaning that, we are
Mhm.
loving the way that she loves us? What would that look like?
I feel like, I'm often reminded of like how like the tree grows, how I'm always talking about food, so that's why I'm probably going to go into this, but like a tree grows like let's say an apple or an orange, and it just automatically knows like okay, it's ripe, and it falls off the tree and offers it to people to eat, and then people or animals might eat that, and then the seeds are then replanted and it grows another tree. Like I feel like instead of us giving back to what we can, we sometimes do to earth what we do to animals. We find that because we have the power to treat it a certain way, we treat it that way. And then it just becomes normalized so that like people who also want to respect earth or what recycle or not damage it in certain ways, or we are advocating to be kind to the earth, we look like the what is it, minority, instead of like that's how everyone really started out feeling, because we lived off the land. Like now we have so many luxuries of, we have houses and cars and all this stuff is great, but it actually ends up like polluting the earth in a way too, or disconnecting us from it. So I feel like just how we would live in it is just basically connect with it and respect it and not damage it as best we can in our practical world. Like we have to, most of us anyway, have, can't walk everywhere, so we have to have a car. But what can we do even to maybe use don't use as much of our vehicle if we don't have to, or whatever, like little things that people could do. Definitely stop the deforestation and things on a global level, like politically, that we could do to help reconnect and not hurt earth. So I guess it would just be a collective effort, but it starts with what you tell us to do, is actually get to know it and connect with it. Because I do the same thing you mentioned earlier. Just, my day gets so busy that I have to like remind myself to go outside and get some sunlight sometimes when I'm in the office. So it's I think people have disconnected from it. That's why they don't respect it as much, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I mean, even just we have to touch the earth because that she's part of us. But even just touching the earth changes our chemical makeup, within, minutes we are, it calms us, right? Putting our hands in the soil. And I think
I
when
heard
you
a
think about,
doctor telling that it actually lowers your blood pressure. I'll try to find that video, but it lowers your blood pressure by putting your feet on the ground because of the electromagnetism, or I'm probably saying it wrong, but
well, that's true, right? And then also that's what they did for like I think it was in one of the movies, Earthing. Those are amazing movies. Um anyway, where they had a little girl, and I think it was scarlet fever, a Native American little girl, and she was sick. And so they dug a giant pit and put her in it, up to here, right? And she stayed in there for days. And when she came out, she was well. So it's the healing power of the earth is amazing. And I feel like the Native Americans really had the sacred reciprocity where they cared for her. They didn't take more. And that was very respectful way of life that the Native Americans had with her. And just as they were discarded as lesser people, and the earth has become that way too, which is this egoic mindset of taking. So, but there are things we can do, I mean, it's awareness. I mean, even just going out 5 minutes, like JJ's saying, going out and seeing the sun, right? And even saying, thank you, sun. But I have to be mindful of it too. So I was just wondering, um, what would you all, what is something you could add into your life every day that would kind of be um, one way of honoring the earth that you could just think about it? I mean, just like for me, what I could add into my day um, to honor her would be just going out and putting my hands down on the ground and saying thank you. As simple as that. It doesn't have to be anything major, but just simply saying thank you to her. Um, is there anything that y'all could think of, like that you might do every day as an act of love and reverence for her?
I think I would like to do the to be able to just be barefoot outside like Dawn does grounding. Do you do it every day, Dawn, or just about every day? And just about every day. Just about every day, she'll go out into the sun and make sure her feet, are on the grass and on the ground, to connect and like be in the sunlight when it is sunny, of course. And like she uses that as a place to pray, and I think I would like to get into that. do that too. I think that's a good way to connect.
Yeah, that sounds beautiful. Just, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything major, you know, putting your feet in the ground or putting your hands on the earth and having a prayer, a tiny prayer. I mean, that's mindfulness and that's healing, with, like you were saying. I mean, our energy shifts. So, I mean, if y'all can't think of anything right now, I mean, if you can, you're welcome to share. Or if you want to think about something, this week, what you could do to really um, give thanks to Mother Earth every day, even if it's 30 seconds every day.
I think my only opportunity is because it's so darn cold here, and everything is ice right now. I think, I have to take my dog out a couple times a day. I need to be more mindful when I am having to be out rather than thinking about, can't wait to get back in because it's so cold, but maybe appreciate the crispness of the air and just look around more and not be so focused on getting back inside. So that's definitely something I can do for the rest of the winter.
Well, that's good. I mean, no, I love that because I had to have a shift. I finally, last year was my shift that I actually did not hate the winter. Usually I curse it and I hate it and it's like, but I finally saw it for what I allowed the winter to be what she is instead of what I wanted her to be spring. So I couldn't see her beauty. But I finally kind of woke up. So, I mean, I get it. I have to also be that way too. I mean, I have to remind myself. So thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
Do you want to say anything, Barack?
Um, yeah, maybe spending a few minutes each day walking barefoot on the grass or soil, just to feel, not just to feel connected, but to show love and gratitude for all the Mother Earth, which gives us the energy, and appreciating its energy, and giving myself a chance to truly connect with nature. Maybe it's more like sharing a moment of love with Mother Earth.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
You know what else I would like to do this year is when it gets warmer, or I should do it when it's cold. That would really show my love. But I would like to do camping, like actually stay outside, like under the stars and connect that way. Because I feel like, especially in the night, there's a lot of beauty that I don't see, and there's a lot of being connected with it to actually like live off of the land for a couple of days.
Yeah. I didn't go camping until I think the first time might have been, I don't know, 7 years ago, which was, and now I love it and I don't go enough. I miss the whole summer. I know. I just don't know. I guess I need to get on the ball and plan it. It's beautiful to be out there in the quiet. Oh my gosh. I mean, that really is so renewing when we get back to nature and pull ourselves away from the fast-paced life and sit in the quiet. I saw a bear once, very close to a bear. Um, he just looked at me. And and once he saw me, he took off, but I was excited to see him. But anyway, it's a whole nother world out there that I forget about sometimes. And I need to be more mindful about it. But this is really reminding me also, you know, to slow down, just to take a breath and say, thank you, Mother Earth. Just to say a simple thank you is a shift in our brain. So it's beautiful. So I see that we're coming to the end, and I wanted to make sure everybody had their chance to say something. And if there was anything else you wanted to say, I have another meditation, and I wanted to remind you all also about Animal Spirit Circle next week. And I wanted to thank you also for supporting me here on the first um, Earth Healing, Earth Listening Circle. Um, so next week we're going to be exploring our animal spirits, um, and what we can learn from our animals. So, oh, Barat, if you can share the link in the chat if you want to sign up for that. I'm excited about that, because we can always learn a lot from these wise animals. And I feel like the ones that we talked about earlier, the cats that are with us. Um, Thank you for sharing that.
My
Shannon, see
cat
what was
like to they actually find every location in the house that has sunlight coming in and they'll lay in it. So I feel like they already know to connect to the earth without having to remind themselves like I do.
That's very true, right? Yeah, we have some cats represented here. Shannon, see what was your animal? Or what was your
I
cat?
have 4 cats and 1 dog.
But what was the one you said you were going to hold here in this space? I forgot.
Oh, I think just generally the farm animals that I feel
That's
so
right.
horrible for, and outdoor animals right now.
Right. Well, our prayers are with them, and for us to have strength, just have be strong. I mean, that we can have peace is really the strength for peace. So, um, but yes. So I wanted to do a little meditation, and just a tiny little meditation as we finish here. But is there anything anyone else wanted to share? I really appreciate y'all coming.
Thank you for having it.
Yeah, thank you very much for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Well, it's made me think a lot about being getting off of autopilot, and being grateful. Well, let me do the final meditation. And if you want to close your eyes, I invite you to. And just sit quietly and just connecting yourself back to Mother Earth, back to the infinite wisdom of the universe. Every star in the sky, every light from the sun, every drop of rain, and just feeling the nurturing connection of nature, the beautiful deer surrounding us with their love, the playful dolphins. They know we have to laugh. They know we have to play. The croaking of the frogs at night, the wind whispering through the trees. All these living beings, all the roots underneath the ground, connecting and speaking with each other, all healing and loving Mother Earth, and allowing ourselves to feel what we feel, to love ourselves for our feelings, to sit in the quiet, and just in this space, feeling the weight of our bodies, grounding ourselves to the connection of Mother Earth. Imagine her roots growing from your being, anchoring you to her divine core. And with each breath, drawing in her loving energy, her strength, and her ancient wisdom. Now let your awareness expand. Feel the pulse of life all around you. The trees, the animals, the birds chirping in the breeze, the rivers, the mountains, the tiny streams, all connected, all breathing, all together. Imagine sending love and gratitude to every beautiful living being, from the smallest insect to the largest whale. And let this gratitude fill your heart for our beautiful planet, for the opportunity to be part of this intricate web of life. May we carry this feeling of connection and reverence with us as we leave this circle. May we be a force for good, a guardian for all beings. And may we always remember we are not alone and we are very loved by our Mother Earth. Just holding this in this sacred space and let it ripple throughout the universe, this connection to all. In love and peace. Aho. When you feel like it, you may open your eyes. Well, thank you all so much for coming. I feel much more peaceful, and I honor all of your feelings, and I'm just so grateful that we have tender hearts, because if we didn't have them, we wouldn't be doing what we are doing. So you all are a true blessing to this planet, and I'm so honored to know you all.
Feelings mutual.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Thank you, Mariquita.
Thank you all very much. You'll have a beautiful night.
All
You
righty.
too.
Two.
You.
Bye.
Bye.